Vou fazer aqui a mudança agora para a língua inglesa novamente. Vou chamar o Woitek Szymankiewicz, que está aqui connosco, creio eu, sim. Woitek, thanks for joining us. Woitek is a Closer consulting partner, a Portuguese-based original company specialized in data science, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, etc., etc. Closer Consulting was one of the companies that responded positively to the challenge that DSPA launched to the community of having our companies reflecting with business peers on what's on today's agenda. Where are the challenges? Where are the opportunities? Where are the needs, the red flags? Where do we stand as an ecosystem, as a country? You were one of the firms that immediately said we're in. Yeah. And brought together a wide group of executives to think together and to come up with a set of deliverables, of takeaways that for sure will inspire us all. You dedicated your session to this topic, AI to boost operations. Yesterday on our opening session, you had the opportunity to share a few thoughts, yes. Kind of a preview. But the stage is yours now, and I'm looking forward to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. I would just need maybe...
The clicker.
The clicker.
Just go on green and backwards on the red one.
Okay.
Thank you, Woitek.
So before I start in English, bom dia a todos aqui na plateia e também bom dia a todos em casa. Estou muito contente por estar aqui e poder partilhar aquilo que foi, enfim, aquilo que foram os insights da nossa sessão de trabalho com mentes brilhantes, com líderes nessa área, com forward thinkers. E, portanto, o tópico é, e agora mudando para o inglês, é AI to boost operations and how companies can take advantage of AI within this field. So, myself, and let's see if that works, great. So, I'm from Closer. Closer is a company that is specialized around topics of data. We've been around for 15 years, this year is our anniversary year. And our mission is really to challenge complexity within these areas and to facilitate the life of our clients. And we are working with data, we are working with business intelligence, we have been doing projects with data science, and of course, artificial intelligence. And while I'm talking about artificial intelligence, I would like to ask you, so how has been your journey with the AI initiatives? And I mean you data scientists, students that come to this area, which is relatively new, and you business leader, hasn't been more or less this kind of a ride, like you're taking off like this fighting jet and really accelerating innovation in this area? Or has it been more or less something like this, which is a little bit turbulent, finding the way and finding the right way to manage this flight? So don't take the word from me. I would like to present to you today and share with you the state of AI 2021, which was done by McKinsey, one of the surveys they did, with over 1,800 participants. And what they found out is not surprising, it's confirming. So what we can see, actually, that AI initiatives within the companies, they actually grew, and that the benefits for those companies are very significant. We see an increase from 50% to 56% of companies saying and admitting that they have at least one AI initiative within the processes. So if you look, where do those companies actually initiate the AI journey? So we have here a top 10 of areas where we can see, for example, service operation optimization, new AI enhancement in products, and contact center automation as being the top 3. And of course, the other list of predictive service and intervention, customer service analytics, creation of new AI-based products, customer segmentation, risk modeling analytics, and fraud and debt analytics. Well, so now we know where the companies actually invest in AI initiatives, but the most important thing is results. So let's have a look on how the performance was and what the results were for those companies. And we can see two dimensions of analysis. One is on the base of cost reduction, and the other one is the analysis of revenue increase. And when you look at this, I mean, on the left side, you see fiscal year 2019, and on the right side, fiscal year 2020. And you can see on the revenue side, on the bottom part, that the increases are there, but that the change in 2019 to 2020 was not that significant, okay? But if you look at the cost side, the decrease of cost, that has been huge. So this, at least for me, and when we do investigation in this area and try to find out also how we can help companies, this is for me an indication that companies started off really focusing on automation, hyper-automation, and trying really to become more efficient with AI. But they still might not be able to transform their businesses enough so they can grab revenue increases in a bigger way. So that's a quite interesting insight. And also on this survey, McKinsey proposed or asked the participant in the study to name the best practices in AI. So what sets apart companies that actually perform better in the AI initiatives versus companies that started the AI journey but do not produce that great results. And they came up, I think, with many items on the list, and I summarized that to those 8, which for me personally, I think they're one of the most significant ones. So we have on the top line, the top 3, all around data. Okay, so we have data and AI governance. So what's the processes? What's the governance and policies around data and AI? Then we have data quality protocols. So really concentrating around how can I guarantee that the right data and the right quality is there for the AI initiatives. And rapid data availability. So how can I integrate data into the new projects and into those new processes that are boosted by AI models. Then on the far right side, we have change management. So once we have the policies and the governance in place, we really need to think about, okay, how can we take in all the people that are involved, all our staff, maybe even our suppliers and our customers within this new transformational journey. So that is key, definitely. On the lower part, as you see, there's more tech stuff. So really a full life cycle approach to AI modeling. This is something important. So really not just to start on the details, but have a full life cycle approach, not from the pilot project and then thinking later on how do I productize it, or how do I put it on the cloud and make it a living, evolving thing. So have a full life cycle approach. Then test before you implement, super critical. And after implementation, track the performance. And once you're satisfied, also find out how will you scan for new necessity for updating the models. Because this area is really it's an incredible speed. It's really, either you're on that fighting jet or not, it's definitely flying like a fighting jet. So it's incredibly rapid. So you really have to think about how can you accelerate your capabilities of being able to keep with that velocity. Then on the AI development teams, are they starting to create standard protocols, okay? So standardization in companies that had high results, it's starting to be a thing really to standardize the protocol, how we implement AI solutions, and of course, having a well-defined capability building program. So this is something we We always hear about talent and capability and training of people that need to get on that train, on that plane, and really accompany us with this journey. So this is just some best practices on that. So Gartner, in one of the researches, has a statement which says that the most common mistake with AI is to focus on automation, and that the companies somehow fail to focus on the augmentation of the human decision-making. I only partially agree with that, because I would not name it as a mistake. I think most companies, I think it's a question of maturity. I think it's, we think at Closer that it's really, you start off with the low-hanging fruits. You start off with quick win approaches in the beginning. You have to learn, you have to be able to have the courage to initiate the journey without having a big fail. So while the statement is true in a way that AI really has the potential to transform your business from the inside out totally, and some kind to disrupt existing business models, it's a very risky game to start it that way. So I think it's just normal that companies start with automation and gain confidence while they're having the journey to go further and to be more audacious, more courageous. So this kind of leaps towards the question, so where do I stand as a company? Or where do I stand as a department that is responsible for delivering value through AI in my organization? And this asks really for some maturity model, metrics, some feedback loop. So what I would like to share with you is two possible maturity models that you might want to apply and you might want to think about in your organization, so you can find out where you stand today within your organization. It's a subjective evaluation on different dimensions, and where is your competition based on the research that you're able to read and based on the information that you're able to gather. So two models that I would like to present to you. There are many out there, and consulting companies propose those kinds of approaches. I just picked two that I particularly like. One is from Ovum or Media. It's normally standardized. So we have this journey, and this is maybe one of the insights. It's not a program, it's not a project, it's not an initiative. It's really a journey where you evolve as a person, as a professional in this area, and as a department and as a company. You really think about it that you're constantly evolving towards innovation. So novice, ready, proficient, and advanced. But the most important thing is about the pillars. So you basically ask questions around what's the strategy, what's your organization, data, technology, and operations. And the questions that you typically would ask would be, so do you have an overall strategy for AI, for your AI journey? Where do you start, and how deep will you go? This is the part of low-hanging fruit, quick win automation, using, for example, RPI and maybe some hyper-automation towards disrupting business models, okay? Then, do you have the right data strategy? This is all about data, quality, data accessibility, data discovery, and data access. Does your organization have senior and top-level, top management support? This point is critical because many times, as with many innovations, especially for traditional businesses, innovation starts with small pilot projects somewhere in the company. But this technology has such a huge impact on the people, on your business models, that you really need top and senior level management to support you, because the changes are huge and the resistance, of course, is always huge also. People are afraid. What will happen to my job if AI takes over taking decisions? Okay. Then, do you have internal communication initiatives for your employees to leverage this impact? And are you building sound understanding of UI within the company? And are you asking the right questions, where to start and what a problem to solve? So this is something that you could do, and then you rate from 1 to 10 on those 5 pillars, where you stand, where you think you stand, and how you evolve over time. Another one is this one. It's from the US, from GSA, which is the General Service Administration Excellence Center. And this is more techie approach also, which goes to AI ops in the center, and then has dimensions around it, talking about data ops, machine learning ops, people ops, cloud ops, DevOps, and security ops. And what they do is actually they kind of have a level of 5 stages where they try to find out, okay, so where am I on those fields, on those dimensions? Is it an individual project? Is it something that is already team and collaboration? Is it something that is defined with a program, with a plan, with a portfolio of programs, and then is it already systematic and intrinsic in your company, and then optimized in the whole enterprise? So this is just 2 ideas to help you find out where you stand, okay? Where you stand within the field of your AI journey. And I hope this helps you find out and prioritize. This is really important. Okay. So I talked a little bit about the external surveys and what you could do to find out where you stand. And now I really would like to share the great day that we had last month with really great people thinking about this issue more deeply. We had several hours together where we were exploring the use cases that we might implement. We were exploring the challenges that the companies have, and also talking about the risk, and try to condense everything into key takeaways that we might share with you today. Okay? I mean, one thing that surprised me during this day was we had people from many different companies, as you see, different sectors, but it was like we on the same team working on the same thing together. So there was like really no difference hardly any difference on the difficulties, on the challenges that the companies are facing. So this is something promising, because that means that especially in an area where competition and enterprise secrets might be somehow important to protect, you might really look to your industry on the left, where you're not in competition with, and you can really share peer-to-peer conversations and learn from each other. I think that's great. At least that was one of the insights for me on that day. And so let's jump directly to the outcomes. So on the use case side, yesterday I said something, AI magic box. So I really feel that today AI is still a magic box in many heads of the business leaders and in many heads of the organizations. Somehow we think that there's a magician, something magic about it, something mystical, and it will solve our problems. And it's not. It's definitely a toolbox. So we have to close the gap between being a magic box towards being a toolbox that we can use for specific problems, specific tools. And DSPI is doing a really great job with these capability programs and the training that they're trying to launch, really to educate business leaders, C-level managers, and other people on the way what AI is and what it can do. So what tools typically AI involve? They are computer vision, they are natural language processing, machine and deep learning, chatbots, algorithms, RPAs and hyper-automation initiatives, and data science in general and advanced analytics. So those things combined produce then the results in your business process and your business operation. In terms of use cases, our experience, and I focused here more, we focused more on the use cases that we did as a company. I have some list here. So basically, if you could boil it down, Closer's experience, it's all about productivity optimization, demand forecasting, and data science in general. I think that would characterize very well our standing, our expertise in this field. And Of course, some industries, so demand forecast using internal and external data. We did it for an international car manufacturer, fraud detection in a financial institution, customer default prediction models for credit institute, production plan optimization within the Smart Factory 4.0. We had a webinar series last year around that, where you really take your demand forecasts, or you even not forecast, your demand that is placed on a factory, and where you optimize your production plan, your daily production plan, to reduce costs of setup machines where you have different references for producing, and also maintain SLAs that you can deliver to the client. And some production sprints are quite aggressive. You have to deliver. You get the invoice, the request for a certain product lot today, and you have to deliver it tomorrow. It has to be produced tomorrow. So 24 hours is really little time to optimize things in a human way. Then, of course, all around raw materials, where to find them, how to price them, price prediction, price evolutions. So that is something that we are doing. Dynamic pricing as well for an international insurance company, where we can inject nearly in real time a price that is being presented to the customer on the website when he's comparing different insurance policies. Then intelligent activity and task distribution for back office operations. So this is something that we're working really, really hard here in Portugal, especially, and in Brazil. We have a specific productized solution for that, where we take all the tasks and activities that float in back office operations, and they need to be prioritized in an intelligent way in order to prioritize the most important task for the company. That's something we're working with many banks, many insurance companies, telecommunications companies. Orchestration of people and RPAs. This is something, this concept of being intelligent within the organization and looking at people in the loop. They are feeding the models, they are refining the models, they serve as guards of the quality of the process, but also machines and automates and robots that automate and put the processes more efficient. So these are some one. And finally, the last mile delivery. I think that's a nearly funny experience, because we, as I said before, we celebrate, and we wanted to celebrate our 15th anniversary this year, and we had planned a big party, a big Christmas party for that. Of course, our friend, or not so friend, COVID, did not allow us to do that. So we thought we will do and cook a virtual Christmas dinner together. That's a great idea. We had a chef, and the chef invented a menu, and the menu has fresh ingredients and some frozen ingredients. So we have codfish and we have squid, and I think it will be a great event next week. But we had to deliver it, and we had to deliver it in a very specific time frame. So not asking our people to wait at home for the delivery, let's say 6 hours or 1 day, and we will show up somewhere. So we used EasyCart, which is powered by our Everlize and our optimization models, to deliver the groceries within a time frame of 2 hours. So that's fine. It worked really good. But of course, there are some things that I cannot solve. Some people might walk the dog and are not in these 2-hour windows at home. So Closer ended up having a little bit of squid and codfish, and we did not have a freezer in our office, so we have to split the things and put the fish and the codfish in the houses of some of our partners and HR departments. So it was a funny. So the lessons learned here is really AI can help you to do some really great things in a really agile way, really fast, but there will be still problems that only humans can solve. So anyhow, let's go for the next one. So risks and challenges that I would like to share with you, we identified. So the challenges are, for some, and I think this is a topic that is sometimes overlooked. Not all companies are huge companies or big companies, and some of them might want to tap into those advantages, but are just too small and are SMEs. So this is something that we have to think about, how we can scale and provide an easier access to the SME area of companies. Then missing knowledge in top and C-level executives, I think I talked about that again, and the SPI is doing a great job in that matter, and many other companies, really to bridge the gap, to transform the magic box into a toolbox. I think that's very important. Then we have, and I will read a little bit faster, just conscious of the time. So, this connection between business and data, asking the right questions, low data literacy, missing AI data strategy for the company, data quality and data availability, so lots about data, project thinking versus program and journey thinking, software integration, legacy software, talent and expertise. I think we heard that a lot during these 2 days. Human resistance and missing courage. That is a point that I will talk a little bit later also. And then risks. The risks are also quite present. It's about privacy, about regulation. It's about transparency, how decisions will be made when they are being made by AI. How do I know they're not biased? About performance. What will happen if I scale this project into my organization? And third-party risks. I mean, you really rely on third-party expertise on the journey, and there's no way around it. So you have to evaluate the risks you're taking when you're working with different third parties and different, let's say, algorithm providers. Everything is on the cloud now, and you can source from around the world. Key takeaways, and I'm finishing up. So, first, remember it's a journey. I think that's important, okay? So, one step at a time, and just make sure you're heading in the right direction. I think that's important. The second one is measure your maturity. So measure your progress. That's basically it. Have a feedback loop to see how you're going. Top management support, top 3 list. So very important, have support in your company. Even if you start small with one project, make sure that the top management ears hear the success story of that project and that you define a strategy across the company. It's very important. Data literacy and data strategy, and have the courage. Have the courage to fail. Really think big, start small, look at the low-hanging fruits, get quick wins, get success, create your use case, make it count, but have the courage to assume that some of your use cases, some of your initiatives won't work. For any reason, because your company is not ready, because the data has poor quality, because you're missing data, because some regulation might stop you at your initiative. So just have the courage to assume that it's not straightforward. It's not a straightforward journey. You have to mingle around. So those were the 5 key takeaways from our session. And I had just one more. So make sure you have the right partners assisting in your AI journey. I mean, the SPA has many great companies as associates with great competence on that topics. One more generalized, one more niche, and we one of them, so I hope closer we can really together go further. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you can get some nuggets that you can apply, and see you around. If you have any questions, I'll be outside. Guilherme? Thank you.
I'm back. Well, thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Woitek. Thank you, Closer, for being such a good student, because you totally followed the script. We told you, we asked you, we challenged you to bring the peers together, you know, get different views, different opinions, and it all ends up in those guidelines that you've exchanged. It's a good message, the fact that the AI magic box can be a toolbox. It's just a question of focusing, working on it, you know, believing in it, etc. So
and get educated about it.
Get educated. But that education comes from your presentation when you list the challenges. I think we as an ecosystem, the SPA and all our members, must tackle those topics on the challenges, because that's where the magic can turn into reality, and projects being implemented. And at the end, all those takeaways. So fantastic presentation in terms of what we expected, what we invited you to go for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guilherme. Thank you, everybody.
See you